Hello, my name is Mike and this is the home of Guns and Horsepower. First off, I want to say thank you to my over 200 subscribers. Thanks for watching my videos and thank you very much for following my channel. I really appreciate it. Today's video is about how to choose the right AR-15 for you. The AR-15 is one of the most popular rifle platforms in the world and one of the most controversial. The political controversy that surrounds the AR-15 seems to keep its popularity ever growing. There's always new buyers coming into the market all the time. And the market can be pretty confusing for a new buyer. There's a lot of manufacturers and a lot of different styles. So that's why I wanted to make this video today, to help point out some of those different styles and the different features of the guns to help you figure out which is the right one for you. So starting off with probably your biggest consideration, your first consideration is going to be price. AR-15s can range from $600 all the way up to $5,000 for a full custom. There's a lot of manufacturers out there like LMT, Daniel Defense, POF, that all produce excellent AR-15s, starting at about $2,500. You can't go wrong with any of those models. But if you don't want to spend that much on an AR-15, I feel like a real high quality rifle can be had with all the right bits for right around $1,200. And that's what I have here for you today, is 3 examples in that price range. And I mean $1,200 for the gun without all the add-ons. These weapons have optics and sights and some other things on them. So just the guns themselves is what I'm referring to. Let's go ahead and list off the ones we have today. We have an Aero Precision AR-15. We have the Ruger SR556E and the Smith & Wesson M&P 15. All 3 of these rifles have 16-inch barrels. That's pretty standard for the AR-15 market. Longer barrels can be had, but those are pretty much long-range competition guns. Most of the market focuses on the 16-inch barrels. Now, let's see here. Next consideration is going to be your handguard. As you can see, all these guns are exactly the same from here on back, other than a little variations in stock. But what really sets them apart and makes them look different is the handguard. As you can see, 3 different styles of handguard. And that's where you're really going to choose what type of gun you have, is your handguard. You can go with this one, which is a full-length handguard, runs the length of the barrel and has a continuous rail all the way along the top. Or you can go with the older style, which is the A2 style with the fixed front sight. And you do not have a continuous handguard. There's a break here at the barrel nut. You have here and here, handguard, a Picatinny rail along top. So those are the 2 styles. The advantage of the full length is going to be you have a lot more room to mount everything. You have an endless rail along the top. Because of the fixed front sight, this isn't moving, so you got to work within this confines, which is a little shorter and makes it a little more difficult sometimes to get what you want on there, or put a nice optic. This can get in the way. So it depends on what you're going to do with the gun. This one here happens to be a free-floating handguard, and by free-floating I mean it doesn't contact the barrel. The barrel sits within the guard and nothing is mounted to the barrel at all. This is the more accurate setup. The Ruger here has a full-length guard as well, but as you can see down here, it's not free-floating at all. It has a mechanism here where the handguard attaches to this gas block here. Okay, since the Ruger is not free-floating and has this gas block here, and you can see this little knob here out on the end, this little guy right here, this is the regulator. So this is a piston-driven gas operating system that can be adjusted with this regulator. These other 2 guns here are a direct impingement system. I don't know if you can see it on this one, if I can get it up. I don't think you can pick it up, but anyway, there's a metal tube that comes out of the gas block, a hole in the barrel, gas enters the block, travels through the tube, and helps work the cycle of the gun. This one you can adjust how much gas flow is used. These are non-adjustable. Does it matter? Not really. They all function well. With the adjustable one, if the gun gets dirty or you get some really bad ammo that doesn't cycle well, you can increase the amount of gas used and the gun will function. Honestly, it's never been adjusted since I put it on the number 2 setting. So do I need it? No. It's a nice to have, I guess, but not necessary. So it's entirely up to you. This is not as common. These two systems, their direct impingement, are the most common type of AR-15 setup. One of the cons with this adjustable piston system is you have all this out here, this added weight. The piston is out here, the regulator, and it's out in front of the handguard. So it does add weight to the front of the gun. So that is a drawback to it. And some of the guns with the piston-driven system can be a little bit more expensive. But it's not a necessity. I just wanted to show the difference. Sometimes you'll see this regulator knob out there, sometimes you won't, and that's why. Not necessarily something you have, just another feature you can get on an AR-15. Now that leads us to our third consideration, which is the overall weight of the gun, which honestly is also dictated by your handguard selection. Like I said, this is a free-floating, full-length handguard, but it is aluminum and quite skeletonized. You can see it's got holes all the way around it, mounting holes, holes to make it lighter, and it's really effective. This is definitely a light setup. This one here, not being as skeletonized, you can see it only has some venting holes at the top and bottom on both sides, and it's pretty solid, pretty close to the barrel. Let's see if I can get that in there. You can't really see any light through there. It's real tight. And this one does get pretty hot. That's why I've had to add the plastic hand guards so I can be able to hold it or wear gloves with it. It does get warm. A hand guard like this, skeletonized, free float, it's easily a ½ inch away from the barrel. This isn't going to get as hot, so that's something to consider. Something like this too, it's a lot smaller, so it's going to be lighter, but it doesn't have the same skeletonization as this too, so it's going to get warm. But all these affect the weight and the look of the gun. They function all the same. It's just how you're going to hold it, what kind of optics you're going to put on it, what kind of sights you're going to want to use, what are you going to use the gun for. Do you want a heavy gun like this? Is a fairly heavy gun for doing bench, target shooting from a bench, or do you need something light that you're going to carry out in the field, possibly do hunting with, or even have smaller frame shooters that are going to need to hold the gun. So that's a consideration. So all those factors pretty much narrow down to the handguard is what's going to determine the type of AR-15 you're going to buy. You want skeletonized, robust, small, that's entirely up to you. It's all personal preference. But it does affect weight. So for instance, let's start with our heaviest one, is this Ruger, the SR. This gun's stock is 7.5 pounds. With the added optic and mount and the plastic and the grip change, it's now up to 9.6 pounds. So this isn't something you're going to want to carry around a lot. This is a good gun for sitting on a bench, putting on bags, and hitting a target at 600 yards all day long. This one's good for that. The Smith & Wesson down here, stock weight on this gun, 6.6 3/4 pounds. As this one sits, 7.6. So as you can see, all these accessories didn't add that much weight. So this is a fairly light gun, even with all the added extras. And as for this Aero Precision, currently as it sits with the red dot sight and the flashlight, this is our lightest gun here on the table at 6.8 pounds. So in my opinion, this is probably the perfect AR-15 or the optimal AR-15 setup for most people. That full rail I really like. I like the skeletonized, free-floating handguard. It's simple, it's easy to attach stuff to. I can pretty much put things wherever I want it. I can even put sights on the side here if I wanted to, so you have, side optics. You can put a scope on here. One other side note, all these guns have magazines in them, but they're empty. But I wanted to include magazine weight when I weighed them, because you're always going to have a mag in it when you're shooting it. But I didn't include bullets. You obviously know it's going to weigh more with that. So my opinion of these three is this type of style here would be my preferred style for an AR-15 if I was going to get started. This one gives you the most room to grow. This gun, you're not going to run out of room on this gun to mount things, so I feel like you'll be able to use this for a long time. So this platform is definitely the one I recommend. Not like there's anything wrong with the other ones, just that I see the most versatility out of this platform, especially as a beginner. If you start buying accessories, you're going to want to put a few things on there, and this definitely makes it the most easiest out of the three, I feel. And it doesn't affect the weight. It's still pretty light, has a couple things on it now. Like I said, 6.8 pounds. Definitely the style I would prefer, I would choose. Well, I hope that helps you in choosing an AR-15, what style you prefer, what look you prefer. Hope it helps you understand, why this is this way with the fixed front sight, why this doesn't have the fixed front sight, free floating, gas regulated. I hope it wasn't too confusing. Shout out to Bill for letting me borrow a couple of these, and I definitely hope this video was helpful for you. Once again, thank you for watching. Please browse the channel and don't forget to subscribe. And stay tuned. Follow up to this, I'm going to do a video featuring necessary AR-15 modifications, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching.